Today I'm going to share some Geoguessr hints and tips, starting with France. So first I'm going to talk about architecture. There's a myriad of architectural styles present in France. I'm going to show you two that are distinct to two regions of France. So here we have a brightly coloured street, and this is in Provence in the south of France. So this area in the south of France is recognisable by its palatial style country cottages. It has a very Mediterranean feel. The buildings are typically made with natural stone or a terracotta finish. Many of the houses will have a weathered or exposed look, and you might often even see completely exposed brick or exposed rock, such as here. One might easily confuse a location like this for Spain or somewhere else in the Mediterranean, so make sure you look out for the other French indicators. The south of France also has a lot of Roman-style architecture, and you'll often find cities in the south of France sort of perched on hilltops with old Roman villages. You can even see one over here. The main thing to take from this is its overall Mediterranean feel. There's lots of these manicured hedges. You'll see some palm trees and a lot of pastel colours and exposed brick. The next style of architecture I'm going to show you is unmistakably Parisian, and I think most people can recognise Paris when they see it. So Paris is distinguishable by the wide, straight boulevards and these multi-storied, neat complexes. So this style of architecture is called Haussmann. Haussmann was an architect commissioned by Napoleon. So Napoleon did not like how Paris looked. He thought it was a bit ramshackle, a bit dirty. The streets were winding and crammed with medieval style buildings. He wanted to make Paris grand and asked this guy to redesign Paris. So that's what he did. Wherever you go in Paris, you'll find block after block of these tall, elegant-looking stone apartment complexes. He also introduced a number of parks and beautiful street lamps. So people were not happy about what Haussmann did to Paris. People believe that he destroyed the medieval integrity or history of Paris. If you see buildings like this when you're playing the game, you can safely guess Paris, 60% of the city or more looks like this. Some medieval buildings remain. Here's an example of such a building in the Le Marais district of Paris. I think it's a northern suburb of Paris. So Haussmann style architecture can be seen in other places around the world. For example, in Tianduchen in China. So they've really gone all out here. They even have a replica of the Eiffel Tower. There are several replicas of the Eiffel Tower around the world. This is one of many, probably close to 50, and I guess they've tried to sort of go for a little bit of the style on these apartment buildings as well. If you know the artist Jamie XX from the very cool band The XX, here we go. Here's the examples. One of his, so this is in China, northern China, one of his songs is set in this fake Paris in China. It's a pretty cool song and film clip. So the style of architecture, I should say at least one or two more things about it. It's typically stone, very uniform, and you'll see the French double windows and chimneys across the top. All right, so next, here we have Upper West Manhattan, which also has similar style buildings. This is opposite Central Park. And finally, Buenos Aires in Argentina, which is often referred to as the Paris of South America. So yeah, you can see the same style here too. Not quite the same, but a little bit the same. And over here as well, I guess, to a lesser degree. So we have Napoleon to thank for all of that. A few more things I want to mention about France. The countryside is extremely beautiful in most areas. It's also very neat, and you never see any rubbish anywhere. It always looks pastoral and beautiful. Okay, so a few quick tips to help you identify that you're in France. One is the French bollard. This is a classic French bollard. Here, it's thick with a conical sort of peak on top, and you'll often see them in grey and, of course, the classic red. There are other bollards that kind of look like this, but if you see this, you're usually in France, especially if you see a few of the other clues as well. You can also see these bollards in places such as Senegal. You will sometimes find French bollards in countries that have a French influence because of colonization, essentially. Here you go. So you also see these in other African nations that were colonized by the French. Okay, a few other things to look out for. So in France, they use black and white signs as displayed here. I chose this location because it's so beautiful. I think this is on the way to Mont Blanc. And also French words. So I think a lot of people can recognize the French language. It's perhaps one of the easier ones to recognize. It's a romantic language. Maybe words that end in I-O-N are common too, or even this, vu. They all sound pretty French to me. Oh, and this one, Charbonnet. How's my French? Nearly done. So another great clue, other than the black and white signs, Chevys, the chevrons. So France has blue and white chevrons. So commit that one to memory. Now, continuing on with the blue theme, one more final clue to help you figure out that we're in France. So here we are in the French countryside. I think this is somewhere in the south of France. I don't know. Anyway, so one thing that is unique to France, and France alone, you will not see this anywhere else in the world, and it's on this telephone pole here. So I can't tell telephone poles apart. They're boring. They all look the same up top and down bottom. I don't know what's going on, but this is easy for me to remember. This is right here, this little blue square. This blue square you'll see on French telephone poles. Not all of them, but you won't see them on any other telephone poles in the world, just French ones. You see them a lot. So I checked out this whole street and it's on all of them. Too far away from that one. But yes, great little tip. It's probably not the most impressive piece of information to end the show on, but a cool one and a small one. And yeah, you'll be checking out those polls all the time now when you're playing the game because they're so useful. All right, that's the end of Quick Tips. See you later.